All right, hello and welcome. We are back to, well, let's pause even because we are back to Aspera. We just triggered out of the, what do you call it, green Mars phase, and now we're going to breathable atmosphere. Yeah. You heard it here first. So in terms of atmosphere, we did it. Like we have the oxygen. The problem that we have is that A, we need to get rid of the rest of the CO2, and B, oxygen needs to be below 30%. Above like 60 is terrible. Is like we're in the fire zone, the scary moment. So we need to get nitrogen and other buffer gases to even it out. We also need to get shields to prevent solar radiation from just burning everything on the planet anyway. Everything's getting a mad sunburn, and that's just how it is. But hey, look, since the last time we've stopped to talk about it, what has happened? Well, the planet is looking better in terms of green. Lots of spread. Hasn't quite gone around this northern tip, but we have expanded out into the sea. We're building these fisheries to get food. We're going to be building some aquatic research bases to go down and investigate. I don't even know what this one's looking at. It doesn't tell me anymore what the rover is that's underneath. It's some of those abandoned bases from earlier. But yeah, so we're working on those. We've got a lot of water. You can see the rivers and like the different catchment areas. Not much down here, but a lot down here. Growing. But yeah, we are spooked. We need to get below 30, and technically we have. The problem is just that the carbon dioxide needs to go down all the way to below 5%. And if you add these two percentages together, you get almost 80%. So even if 5 of it was, bad, we're going to double the negative. So we need to add a lot of nitrogen. We could also remove atmosphere by removing oxygen from the air, but that doesn't seem like a good idea. It seems like a bad idea because I need to maintain the 300 bits of pressure. You can also see like the flora on the planet. Like look at that, 10%, 20%, 14%. Loving that growth. That's what pushed this oxygen into an amazing spot. If we look at the different biomes on the planet, you can see we still have some deserts, but we have much more humidity and we've got a lot of heat. A lot. This is a very cold region, right? Temperate plants. Yeah. So yeah, very cool. I just got an achievement. Is that what I saw? Have 5 operative animal sanctuaries. Oh, there you go. So the big thing that we have planned to solve this problem is importing nitrogen, and then we need to get those magnetic dipole shields. So we're going to be going all the way up in terms of engineering. I don't think we can get magnetic dipoles through anything else. We could have better cities, of course. We could have better energy. Oh my god, a thermal plant would be incredible. You need to have underground places for that. I don't know if those use the same slots as like the craters for other things. A fusion plant? Incredible. So I don't know. I've been struggling with energy here and there. You can see I have huge spikes with solar, and then I get a different spike, and then there's this weird like in the middle of the season, right? I'm not exactly sure why this is the pattern, but I know that I have these very low point dips, and they are not very bueno. So anyway, I'm just pausing in to check this. We finally started stage 5. This episode might be shorter than most just because we're almost there. It's just going to be a matter of spreading things out and then bringing in that nitrogen, and I'll just jump in whenever we have a milestone. All right, checking in just to say that our naval expansion is continuing. and we are moving. We're also doing a lot of scanning to try and find more resources. A few things that we've been running low on, like carbon and chemicals, even some water, despite the fact that we can, you know, get it from the ocean and distill it. We're working on it, basically. But what I actually started recording for is just to mention that we've exceeded 30% oxygen, so now we're in a danger zone in terms of fire and heat. We might light our whole biomes on these massive forest fires. Hopefully not. That's not the plan, and yet here we are. It could happen, you never know. But otherwise, everything's kind of moving forward. We do have space projects going on right now. Nitrogen import, it's a big one. Ice import, don't mind a little extra water here and there. Make more humidity on the planet in general is good for us. Space elevator, that's the big one. We have 12 shipments that we have to make into space, I believe, to build the space elevator components and put them into space, and then you build down from there, from geospatial orbit. So that's kind of the plan. We'll connect to it. We'll be happy. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and add in a couple extra water treatment plants. My industrial core, as I've been calling it, continues to be really stretched in a lot of ways. So what I'm doing is I'm spreading out some of the load, like of these water plants, and I'm putting them near some shipping infrastructure like the hyperloops, in an effort to get things to be moved that way. Also, I think it's probably worth connecting these. Maybe not. There's hyperloops. We can just let. Is there a fire? Oh, we're actually having problems, and that's gonna use a lot more maintenance bots to go and fight the fires, put them out and whatnot. And that's only 36% right now. If I'm not mistaken, we are continuing to trend down. So thank God we had some nitrogen added to the mix recently with some shipments, but yeah, this oxygen is really starting to take a lot. I think we were at like 300 bar before though, so now anyway, it's happening. What did it say? We have more operationals. Achievement. Blue Mars reach 1,000 meters of water and have at least 5 operational fisheries. So what's happening right now is I'm getting these floating research colonies, and they need food, and a good way of supplying them with food is to plant bioengineered fish in the sea and then come in behind them and, you know, get to their fish. There is more carbon here. What a lucky find. We're gonna need additional maintenance. This is kind of how the setup goes. You get the maintenance, you build some solar or wind around it just to make sure we're never running out, and then you get the carbon, and then in the case of the research base, you throw in a fishery and a water desalination plant. Now that we have this, we might actually be close enough that we could consider connecting the water boosting plant. We could build one here and here and try and connect this little water area that's going to have a floating research base, because there's going to be a lot of leftover water, but it's not worth the resources to connect it, quite frankly. I can just build more desalination plants. But there you go, lots of resources coming through the Noctis Labyrinth, Lake Marineris, what have you, out and into the ocean, where we are going to be extracting resources, because right now it's the easiest way to expand without destroying a lot of our habitats, other than going to the South Pole, basically, because we are growing the green stuff. We are 63% covered. It's pretty good. The only problem is that means that the oxygen is killing us. But regardless, halfway to Space 5, 52 years into the game, and we are building the space elevator as we speak. All right, we are back. We are like almost half a bar in terms of atmosphere, which is pretty sick. I mean, if we look at this over time, you can see that we've been squeezing out the carbon while adding nitrogen to try and keep that oxygen under wraps. You can see over time, right? There was no pressure on the planet. And then very quickly, we are kind of creating that ideal zone. Again, we need to really amp up the nitrogen. I've put a second fleet on importing it, so hopefully it starts to come up faster and faster. But yeah, half a bar, that's like, an atmosphere is almost 1 bar. I don't know why 1 bar isn't equal to 1 atmosphere. It's based on pascals. Pascals aren't based on, they're based on newtons. I don't know. There's a whole thing. If we look at the heat of the planet, we can see it's been almost consistent. The heat of those comets and Deimos have long left us, but as they've left us, the GHGs and oxygen and everything else has kind of taken the place, so everything's kind of staying in a nice location in terms of temperature. The flora fauna thing is working out for us. I'm not sure what the oxygen variation is for me. Like, I need the oxygen this year. The way I understand it is the change in oxygen every year based on these plants coming and going, dying and living. And what we're trying to do is create a... I just feel like these numbers are backwards. This is missing a digit. But we're trying to create a situation where the variation in oxygen every year is actually very low, because you're trying to strike an equilibrium between animals and humans and plants. Because if you have all plants, you'll have no carbon dioxide left, and if you have all humans, they'll breathe all the oxygen, and all you'll be left with is the carbon dioxide. Anyway, all that said, you may have noticed this button. We have a space elevator button. We can add it in somewhere. This is very, our core here is very difficult to access. What I've done is I built some spaceports in this region and added another hyperloop to try and ease tension. But a lot of what we're building actually requires iron, and we have a ton of iron from our 2 smelters in this region. So I think the plan is that we are going to try and find a location out here. Oh no, never mind. Needs equatorial strip. Needs to be along the equator. Oh wow, that's gonna make it very difficult. I've built off the equator. Oh, okay. Well, it's a good thing we have this little base here, because we can't go much lower. Right, we can't. Oh, we can go equatorial strip. Where? Basically here. This is going to be okay. It's going to be a little high, but that's fine. I'm going to have to get another hyperloop, and I'm going to need to get like several workers hubs in the area to make sure that it's super serviced. But that is the plan. We can also make sure that it's very connected by putting in like a hyperloop over here, because I really want to connect all the steel that I know is sitting around in this area all the way over to this beautiful, beautiful space elevator. Now, what are we doing with the space elevator? We've got all our spaceports assigned, but we have magnetic shield dipoles, baby. We need to launch 15 of these suckers. We could even use more space elevators, quite frankly. Maybe I'll queue one up. I think we have lots of resources. And then what I'm going to do is import a nitrogen. I'm going to add another spaceship there. I don't need anything else. I might take an additional landing pad, because what I've been doing with the landing pads, you may have noticed if you saw in the ocean, it's like it takes a long time for us to ship things across the sea out and into these areas. So what I've been trying to do is set up these little harbor zones, and try and allow shipping to happen a little bit closer to home, but also connected to a Hyperloop. Which is going to put more strain on these Hyperloops that are trying to bring things, actually. But, and actually, let me take a second and add like another port to this mix. Anyway, all that to say that there were some chemical mines here, and there was some food, and I decided to get this going, but I actually needed to do a landing site so that I could actually install the port, because without the landing site... Am I really building this? Nice. Without the landing site, the ships can only deliver the goods. They can't actually build it. So if I have another landing site, I will build another harbor here and build a Hyperloop and connect it. And that will give me another place for these ships to drop goods and then have them Hyperloop down the coast. The reason I put this here and not here is A, because of the flood zones, but B, man, these places are on fire. I don't know why you're not getting repaired or put out. It's because I want to get all the way to this northern area and get some ports built here, and these Hyperloops can connect. And this will give me a way of servicing all these like marine land locations and actually extracting some of the resources that we need. I don't know, like not iron, but certainly chemicals. And it also makes it possible for me to have these floating research stations, which I'm a big fan of. So let's make sure that that happens. Everything else is kind of good right now. What's the organic dumpster? Speeds up CO2 into O2. I'm gonna get that just for the sake of it, because it's pretty short. But I don't know that we'll ever need it. And then here, we would like another floating lab. And we have water. You can see here that I've actually connected all the way up. I was having a lot of power issues with the wind coming and going as it does, and I can't build batteries at sea. So it was one of those things where, look at this. 100 years of power? Looks great. 100 months? Oh, what's this? 100 souls? You can see that we're in the middle of a down spiral here. I need power, and I just invented thermal plants. Now they need to be built in very special locations. I'm wondering if we have any just like chilling in our main area. There are these little knobs. Oh, you're done. I can deconstruct you. There's actually quite a few like old mines. Oh no, that's moving resources. That can be deconstructed. I find them all the time. I'm surprised we don't have more heat locations. I also really wish that, like, if I clicked, not thermal, if I were to click, yeah, thermal, actually, it would highlight the zones for me to actually install it. Like, this little square is not that much. Oh my god, look at all the thermal. There's a ton up here. And I'm just like waiting to hear the snapping noise, you know? I'm surprised they put them just out of reach, you know? Like, I just wanted one like in my base. And maybe it's there, but... Oh, right where I have my colonies of humans where I can't move them. Is that the only one? Oh. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like there's two, but I'm just snapping to the same one over and over again. Oh, I thought I saw one there. Yeah, I've built a lot of colony. It's a bit of a shocker that I don't just have access to this without having to extend all of my stuff. But here we are. Let's look. Maintenance. Not going to be in the maintenance. Of course not. It is a power facility. So I should only need to build up to it using hubs. But there you go. Okay. I might go and build a whole bunch of power in places because apparently we're at a million negative. I have a ton of stored energy, but you can see it tipping down, and it's still, even with the stored energy, all of my batteries outputting, it just does not do enough. I need more storage, actually. More storage or just more baseload power. Because when the wind is bad and the sun ain't shining, I am in a sad way. You don't have maintenance? Of course not. I do need, I have needed carbon for a long time, so I'm just gonna keep doing that. You can almost certainly be destroyed, which means a thermal plant can be put there. But anyway, yeah, let's keep going. I'm going to let you know we have 70% flora, breathable atmosphere on the way. A big thing is that we are building, wherever it is, not landing site, not space elevator, comet disintegration. I mean, where do they put it? Magnetic dipole. Oh, up here. We need 15 of these launched. We can see we actually did get the 100 iron to do it the first time, but we got to do it many more times. Since we had all that time, we were playing on high speed. Thankfully, we can do some connections now. So let's go ahead and connect the hell out of this. I don't care if it creates a tremendous amount of redundancy. I don't care what you're doing. Apparently, it's a significant enough launch that it's worth pausing, but I don't care. I'm focused, brother. And you connect you, and you give me that steel bypass. I don't think you need to go all the way to here. You certainly don't need to go there, but fine. With our landing site, that's actually what launched. I'm going to put you here. That should build up that port for us, which will put us in a good spot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that we're already doing ice import, we're already doing nitrogen import, we're doing colonists, we're doing magnetic dipole with our space elevator, we're building another space elevator. I think we just do the additional landing. Just one more. Just keep going up the coast to try and make those naval pieces a little bit more efficient. And again, we did some mining in this seabed as well, but there wasn't enough chemicals and carbon. There's a lot of other things, but we're just not that interested in it. So let me pause again, and we'll jump back once we hit the next milestone. 39%. We got to get below 30, but the below 5 we've been trending towards really well. Just going to give you that 100 year one more time. Got to go the rest of the way, baby. Okay, brief check-in. We are at year 60. On our way to year 61, actually. I've been having fun spending some time building some little research bases along the coast and connecting everything with cool connections so that we can ship things out to and from the sea faster. One thing I don't know, or that I expect is actually a fault of all these bases, is that oh no, we can get, I was worried that we couldn't get more robots to these places, but we can send replacement robots through the Hyperloop system. Perfect. And you can see that it's already putting, like, all of our lines, if you look at them, they're red. All the Hyperloop lines. We are using the hell out of every Hyperloop line, and all these floating lines that you see kind of moving around, these are all the robots at sea that have a target destination. A lot of them are trying to get things here for some reason, because we're building a bunch of structures. It's a whole thing. Anyway, where are we in terms of the terraform? We are about to hit 5% oxygen. Again, we can look at our atmosphere over time. We're adding a ton of nitrogen, squeezing out the other gases, letting CO2 fall and fall and fall. I wasn't too worried about accelerating the rate at which CO2 converts in, or O2 converts into CO2 converts into O2, because this whole portion needs to be 30% or less as far as I'm caring. I mean, realistically, it needs to be 25% or less. Or sorry, it needs to be 35% or less, because 5 of it could be CO2 and 30 of it could be oxygen. But just Just get it down. Just get it out of here. The only way to get it down is to pump the buffer gases. So that doesn't seem like it's going to be the problem. The only problem that we're seeing is that the magnetosphere has taken a long time to build. I mean, can we see it kind of coming together? That's a disintegrated... Lots of disintegrated things. Magnetic dipole shield. I mean, we're building it slowly, slowly. Can we see the sun? Is it over there? No. Okay. Either way, I mean, it's being built very slowly. We only have one... we only have one space elevator. We can see it here. Again, not to scale, but this is like it up in the sky, and we're able to elevate things to do construction for those dipoles. Loving that. That's great for us. I guess it's more impressive if I like zoom out like this and you see that vertical scale, like whoa, way up here we have it. So what I've tried to do to speed this up, and it's only going to matter for the last like quarter, is I've been building another space elevator, and now I have 3 things working on it. I think it's actually being built right now, so we need a couple more launches, and then once these launches are done, it'll get built. So I mean, it's coming. It's coming. Again, though, this will probably launch another dipole, and then we'll just have a couple more to put out there. Where is the project? Dipoles. It's like hard to find. This needs like, so maybe this will finish the 11th. We'll have 2 space elevators, and then we can do the last 4 in parallel, which is like not super impressive, I would say, but hey, we're here, we're slowly trudging along. If I did nothing at this point, my economy is pretty self-sufficient. It might look like I'm running out of parts, but I actually did build another parts factory recently, and quite frankly, we've been using a lot of materials, doing things that are basically just for fun, exploring around the planet. Basically, my headcanon is that I wanted a vacation spa resort to be able to like look across the valley at beautiful Olympus Mons, the tallest mountain in the entire solar system. And I thought that this was a cool spot for it. But I mean, along the land, I'm not sure that there is a great spot. Like, this is kind of a dirty side. If you were on the beach or the waterfront, you wouldn't really get an appreciation for the size. So I was thinking that on the other side of this river, there's a bit of a rise. You can see the elevation markers. And I don't know, kind of like if you've seen those really impressive pictures of like Mount Fuji in the background, I thought it would just be, oh wow, I actually can't look at it that way. Kind of an impressive vista, but like I'm not sure that it looks as impressive. This is one of the better angles for it, I guess. Maybe one of the other sides makes it look steeper. This gives you a good view of like the giant plateau. Obviously, if you were really going to build a villa on this mountain, you would build like a beautiful mountain overlook along this cliff, looking out at the sea with Mount Olympus on your, like, to your back. But I don't know, that's just my headcanon. The problem with building that is that I can't get a, I guess it's not a shipyard, it's a port. I can't get a port that high. I can't get a port that high. I guess you'd have to build the port down here, and then you have like some crazy hitchbacks to then build up on top of the hill. And then you'd have a cool Hyperloop system to get there quickly for all the tourists. And then you have to build like a theme park, like an amusement park up there or something. I don't know. Either way, I'm killing the time. We'll be back. We have a couple dipoles left to go. We have a little bit of space elevator left to build. We'll be there in a minute. Alright, this just in. Our big magnetic dipole is complete. And we are just initiating the journey on a couple of ships to go and get some nitrogen, which is very notable because right now we're at 6% out of 5 and 31 out of 30 in terms of oxygen and CO2. And that should be a whole... I don't know why I paused. Literally all we're doing here is waiting. That should be a full terraform of the planet, basically. The last thing that I've been just spending my time doing, again, after having my luxurious retreat to Elysium Mons, just because is I've been building lots of naval scanners to map the whole ocean. Lots over here, as you can see. And then I have some other scanners in like the roadway that I have connecting to my eastern base. And then I have a whole bank of scanners here just because I like mapping the planet. I think we're officially 50% of the planet at this point. Most of what we're missing, like literally a quarter of the planet's surface, is right here. It's the other half of this giant northern ocean, which, you know, is chill. And then the other bit that we're missing is like this sliver here on land. A minute ago, actually, I had just built some scanners over here because these sections weren't connected. We also haven't connected this sliver yet, just through here. So lots of scanning to do, but basically it's just this scoop and island and this, right? So scoop, island, and this, and then and then I killed my map view, and then the island itself. And I guess a little bit of this peak, but again, we do have a bank of scanners up here as well. Not as many. I think at this rate, like the last place to be scanned would be the middle of this ocean, but this island I feel is going to be pretty slow. Actually, I'm so far away from this section that it's probably the scoop. Anyway, I'll be back in a minute. We are so close. 5% oxygen, like 1% transition from CO2 to O2. That's fine. All of it is going to come crashing down. Honestly, I was going to pause and kick away. No, I will pause. I'll be right back. We're going to see these two things track down. So they did hit the planet, and we got down to 30.86%. So good thing we're building that backup third ship, because we are not quite there yet, quite frankly. Oh my god. We're so close, but we're just not there. We do have the dipole. That's all good. The magnetosphere. Everything else is in a great spot. But yeah, and now the oxygen is converting over out of the CO2. So, oh no. I'm gonna just put some more ships on the same. Actually, I don't want them to cannibalize from these ones that are very close to launching. But basically, come on, game. I just need you to get these percentages right. By the time I come back, this is going to be just high enough again that ship's going to survive. Or not ship's going to survive, but the oxygen's going to stay over 30. Ah! I've been on this planet for 63 years. We just delivered some more oxygen. Or nitrogen. We're still above 30. 30.77. Game, you're killing me. We are going to launch a couple extra ships here. We have 2 that are almost on construction just for a one-time send. We have 2 that are en route and another one. Again, if we look back 100 months, we can see the great work that we've done. If we look back 100 years, we can see that it was all CO2 for a time. But alas, months and days, years. Come on, we're so close. I don't care about technology. Go away. Just get this over with. All the ships have launched. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaceships on their way. Where are they going? Nitrogen rich, baby. We need nitrogen imports. Anywhere in the galaxy there's nitrogen, I want you, because this number needs to be less than 30. Please, God. What's our atmospheric shifts anyway? Yeah, they come and they go. It is what it is. 100 souls, 100 years. Game. We're so close. Show me the M bar again. Look at this number. Look at it. It's so close. It's so close. The first of the 5 arrived. 30 instead of 0.7, it's 0.3. Come on, come on. It's about to hit. It's about to hit. Oh. finally at home. Oh, God. Oh, I didn't realize. Terraforming is complete. But they want me to actually build up a population of 50,000 on the planet? Guys. No. I was just so ready. The planet's ripe. Find your own way here. I got the food, I got the water. No. I do think I'll end this one here though. If I do come back for the last episode just to complete this, it'll be a quick update video. At the end there, I was just watching paint dry. I'm like, come on guys, come on. I did all the fun little things. I did the side quests. I could connect more research bases and places, but like I was ready. I was ready. They want me to have open farms. I actually have researched open farms, and I didn't build them because I have too much like I have too much food to begin with, but like, you know, who cares? Who cares? Open farms, they need 10% arable land or something. Like, boom, you're built. Open farm, 10%, boom. Throw one down over here. Oh, that one doesn't have maintenance. No. I don't want to build any more frickin' maintenance. Please. Please. Open farm. Open farm. Open farm. You're not in the water network. Of course you're not. Open farm. Farm it up good, guys. Farm it up good. The only problem with all that is that I don't have nearly enough water. And see, I said I was going to do it in the next episode, and now we're doing it live. We're freaking doing it live. Build me some freaking water bases. I need so much water treatment, and it's just easier to throw it in the ocean. Mobilize all the ships. Mobilize it all. I mean, I've been spending a lot of resources. Where's my, I'm realizing now, you guys don't need to do this. Oh, I didn't mean to cancel the one that was already like en route and done, but whatever. These last two can finish up this nitrogen. We're good, right? Are we good? Did we do it? I don't want to get. Oh, I'll see you in the next episode. We're gonna do it there. We're building some farms. The farms look great. Everyone loves the farms. The problem with the farms is that they take a lot of everything. And that takes forever. So, see you then.